Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In the last part, we headed out to take on the final raid set, or the final Eden raid set, Eden's Promise. With that out of the way, we can now start on the other storyline that opened up. This expansion's version of the Four Lords and the Warring Triad. So, let's see what we have for us. Gaius has enlisted our help with something pertaining to the weapons, so let's figure out what it is. Cecila, glad you can make it. As you may have heard, Commander Aldine has given orders to embark with the Alliance headquarters to hold back the advance of the Empire's latest menace. Not that the soldiers stationed here there are too chuffed about being on the front line against these new weapons. If they're designed to slay primals, they make short work of us mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Balzar and his followers who've led the charge so far. By all accounts, they've been given as good as they get. Unfortunately, their sorties have met with little success. I dare say they'd benefit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over at Porta Praetoria will show you the way. Alright. Let's go check it out. See what can we help out with. Let's see what's going on down here. On your way to headquarters, I take it? Yes. So, your mind is set, then I shall apprise you of the situation. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultimate Weapon project is being held by the reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzean front. Its name, the Ruby Weapon. Severa and I are able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs and made an attempt to destroy it. An attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultimate Weapon, the explosives we employed should be sufficient to blast through its armor plating, though you barely left a mark. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience. As you well know, the Ultimate Weapon was designed to absorb ether from icons, and the Ruby Weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any were summoned during the uprisings in Garlemald's occupied territories and thereafter consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Gaius was entered to shield me from the Ruby Weapon's assault. Even now he struggles to stand. Damn it all! If I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You need not concern yourself. Let's not forget that I'm the one who initiated the Ultimate Weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it. If you were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hobbled within firing distance. In any case, we can't afford to lose information in your head on both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Cecila's assistance presents our best chance of stopping the War Machina. It is true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be her. Though I have no right to ask of this of you, will you lend us your strength? That's what I came here for. I'm not one to back down from a fight. You have my thanks. And mine, though I must impress upon the urgency of our situation. We have received word that the Empire is preparing to advance in the Gimlet Dart. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proven correct, the Ruby Weapon will be among their hosts. Should it break through our lines, and there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. You make no mistake, the very survival of the Eorzean hangs in the balance. Once you've steeled yourself for the battle ahead, your escort will lead you the way. What price must the world pay for my hubris? A short while earlier in the Garland-occupied city of Relt's Magatech installation. Verlet's. Ooh. Commencing Ruby weapon activation sequence. All units stand by. Initiating synthetic aura sight system. Fusion successful. No signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Ruby weapon, codenamed Darnus, ready for launch. Uh-oh. Good. Valdolin has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the Ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Let me tell you, the theme song for all the weapon fights is Forever Ruined. Because I heard of a song, a parody song on YouTube, and after listening to that parody song, I can't get the lyrics out of my head, and the song is Forever Ruined. Where is it? There it is. Uh-oh, my gear's low. We should be good. If you listen carefully to the lyrics, you can pretty much make out what the parody song was about. Now you can still hear the lyrics. Preparing combat data. Subject Darnus. Now, it's been a while since I did this fight, so I gotta remember how this fight goes. I've only done this fight once. Deploying claws. Anti-weapon restricted moves. You wanted to see them coming. much speed, but I'm still in control. Good, way to dump a double AoE on me. Yeah, you had that coming. Damn, Summer. Uh-oh. Fuck! Synthetic Orso System Safety Lock removed. Preparing Ultima. Maximum power. And you think that's the end, but it's not. This can't be. The movie is unstoppable. I'm sorry, everyone. This is the end for me. Activating Oversoul. Increasing pilot override rate to 100%. Commencing force shutdown and system restart. Synthetic Orosite switching to Oversoul mode. Loading data sample. Darda's combat data ready. Initiating organic core override. Ugh. What is this? No! Get out of my mind! No, stop! No, I'm not! Nail! I am... Uh-oh. I am Nail von Darnus. Come to purify this forsaken land. Ugh. Legacy of ancient Outlag is mine to command. All my despair, all my rage, become my shield. Down, Mud is reborn. Oh, fuck. How can this be? Almighty Diamond, am I not thy loyal servant? Heard real destruction, I shall prove to be my word. Vengeance shall be mine! Fall, fall! Death to the undeserving! These unthinking beasts. No, Dalma did fall. I know it to be true. Oh, brother, Nail, your name shall live on for eternity. Nice. I realized I didn't have the picture on the whole fight. Oops. My B. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Though, as I'm sure you will concur, the ultimate weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If the research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh on unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Ooh, who's that? Here to sift through the remains of the ruby weapon, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie? Father! It's been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It's wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of this company you've been keeping. I know a lot's happened, but I'm glad you're alright. And now, you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days serving the Empire are over. Because you're suspected of assassinating Emperor Varus? But we know you'd never do anything like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back to the way it was. Got the headaches! So, he found you two shivering on the road outside, and he was going through Wurlit. Lucky for you, eh? If he hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for you, us three, our parents are all died in the epidemic. We'd be still begging on the street corners if it weren't for him. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud of us. You're saying we should join the army? I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Wurlit was scared of the Garleans. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. Alright, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in, and maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then that would make Lord Gaius our father? Well, if he doesn't mind calling us in that, I suppose so. And that makes us, you are a big brother since you're the oldest. You better be nice to us or I'm telling Father. Childhood friends! Father, since you went away, a lot has changed the Empire. For us, too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is... If you must go, I'll not stop you. But answer me this. Who is piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Neil von Darnus has not returned from the dead. Who do you think? It was... Melisandre. No. No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you, to all of you. We only want to finish what you started. And while we'll never forget what you have done for us, next time we meet, we shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre. I swear it. You picked the fight, not me, asshole. All right. That's Sid. I recognize those boots anywhere. Well, Gaius von Belzar, we meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You are to come to collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be in the cockpit. I'll ask Vaudeline to escort you to the wreckage. Any idea who this Melisandre is? It appeared a crony of his, perhaps? One of the orphans. Gaius always did have an eye for talent and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livio, Sas Junius, was another protege of his. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then, my father and countless others lost their lives in the Boja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, but to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support, but he was as much a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. And when my turn came to serve, Jesus Christ, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I blame Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more for their barbaric acts they carried out in the name of conquest. But we met at the Praetorium, and all that hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away, and I remembered the men I once respected. To think that the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Ascians, who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of his men to early graves. It's more than most can bear, and now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. If Sis, as I remember him, he'll not take him long to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. Back already? My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but if Melisande is dead, I don't hope she is not made to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony as her very life's essence was drained from her. So she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine. We must act quickly for to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Sessa, is there any other information you could share regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Nail von Darnus? Did the Legatus mean that much to Melisande? From what I gather, it sounds as if data based on Nail's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected and the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned warriors such as the White Raven to its soldiers, the Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? That's more or less how soul crystals work. A similar method of transference was used on the prototype Estinian font, was it not? I mean, it's more or less how soul crystals work. Yes, it seems that such crystals are in a common use throughout Eorzea, an ancient but effective means of passing on knowledge from one generation to the next. While it may bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the records of the ruby weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of an icon has yielded remarkable results, but in doing so, the Empire has sunk into the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you, yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Severa will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest in guardian technology, there are a few soldiers I'd rather have watching my back. In the meantime, Vaudelin and I will follow the ruby weapon's tracks back to the points of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and in the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this low and guardian activity to recuperate. Would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion of those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. Oh, what agreement? If you so much as think of returning to Imperial Masters, I will kill you. Oh. What kind of deal did you guys make? Lord! Did I never talk to you? I guess I never did. Alright, a little late to knock that off the charts, but I got it. Oh, jeez. So you put down the ruby weapon. God, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. I suppose I should report news of your entry to the higher-ups. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? Oh, that kind of hurt. Oh, God. You make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think you're slaying hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all this into a report and leave a copy over there, so you should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of, like going for a celebratory pint. If the Guardians pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Until then, rest up. Meanwhile, in the Whirlet Magitech installation, we should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I knew he would. That's exactly the problem, Allie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Melisandre's death be in vain. Even if that means going against Father's wishes. Cheer up, Alphonse. We can all go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eorzeans. It'll be just like old times. If only we're that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me? I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next. Oh, ye of little faith. With me at the helm of the Sapphire weapon, it'll be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise me you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you too. Oh boy. That unlocks all the EX trials. I'll talk to him once I'm all done. Sleep now in Sapphire. Cecil, I'm afraid we haven't had much in the way of information to share from the front line. We have, however, received word that Gaius wishes to speak with you at the at Alliance headquarters. I've arranged an escort to take you to headquarters, so when you're ready to depart, speak with that fellow over there. Alright. Good, you're here. The Ironworks have completed their analysis of the ruby weapon and Sid and Garland wish to share their findings. I take you can spare a few moments. Very good. Please wait here while I inform you of your arrival. Alright, what can you tell me? Good. Glad you can make it, Tesla. I'm sure you're anxious as anyone to hear what we've uncovered. Our earlier hypotheses have proven correct. The Guardians have designed a system whereby a pilot's consciousness can be forcibly supplanted with data based on the memories of and experience of another. So even a rank amateur could obtain combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior? Precisely. And we learned how this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitor was still operational. Among the messages displayed, one particular phrase caught my attention. Synthetic Orosite system. Which is what exactly? Well, the core of the Ultimate Whip was referred to as the Heart of Sabik by the Yassians. We believe it has been a type of Orosite. I can't say much about the synthetic sort of at this stage, but I've encountered real with Orosite before. It was extremely potent, perhaps equal in power to the Heart of Sabik. Or Sabik. I'm gonna go with Sabik. That sounds right. It's unclear whether the Guardian's simulacrum possesses the same properties as genuine Orosite, but I intend to follow this avenue of inquiry to see where it leads. What we do know is that it is used to implant the combat data of Nael von Darnus into the pilot, who has been presumed dead since before the Calamity. Are you any closer to discovering how they were able to retrieve this data? The link didn't occur to Gaius at first, but he later told me of devices fitted to the Magitech armor of the Guardian of the Empire's high-ranking officers. There is reason to believe that they were designed to emulate soul crystals used throughout Eorzea. Yes, that was rumored to be its true purpose, but it was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of command wanted to avoid comparisons to the so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. There is also the question of whether the system even functions as intended. From what we've seen, we can only assume they were successful in gathering combat data of those wearing armor equipped with the device. If the comparison with soul crystals is valid, perhaps this data was transferred via ether. However, it seems that it extracted not only memories relating to combat, but the soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumbed entirely to the will of Von Darnus. Though this is merely supposition, it is possible that being fused with the ruby weapon's core accelerated the process and caused the deceased Gaius to manifest in corporeal form. Could it be that the death of the pilot was caused by the system malfunctioning? It's hard to say. The ruby weapon itself was still largely intact when it was deactivated, which strongly implies that it was the synthetic aurosite running amok that killed her, rather than the damage incurred during the battle. But even after our analysis, I'm afraid we still don't have enough information. For now, perhaps we should consult with Gaius as to our next plan of action. Alright, Gaius. We want to... Vodeling... Oh, I skipped it. I traced the ruby weapon's path back to the occupied territory of Roulette, which appears to be where it was built. Where exactly is it? My grasp of geography is surprisingly poor. Care to enlighten me? Let's just go with this. Where exactly is Roulette? Well, Alamigo is placed on the western side of Gimlet, Roulette lies on the opposite side to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city until it was brought to its knees by the Imperial invaders. You seem rather well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. I thought that much was common knowledge. It is also where Alphonse and others were born, and now the weapon project was brought them home. Yes, the place is now rife with Imperials. They have an established airship supply depot in the coastal town of Turncliffe, according to the locals. Something assembling one of the weapons as was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they can launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Turncliffe presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood, the weapon will be ready long before we have arrived. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time by circumventing their ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. Or we could use the Enterprise and take the most direct route of all, as the crow flies. In fact, this is the perfect chance to put my top-secret plan into action. And might I ask what that entails? Oh, it wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? What I can say is that there's a starring role planned for you, Tesla. Why so surprised? You didn't think I'd let you get off that easily, did you? He'll be here soon, so don't go anywhere. Oh, he's very excited, apparently. Okay, what's the secret then? Oh, it's a thing. As he said, still delights in keeping others in suspense. I can only hope he does not make us wait over long. Oh, what's this? And when did he make this? Oh! No, that's cool. It's a Gundam! Here it is, Tesla. I present Garland Ironworks' adaptation of the ultimate weapon, the G-Warrior. I know Algan design when I see it. Excavated from one of the ruins, no doubt. Alice's Law, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigations and decided it would be a shame to let it go to waste. And you would be taking this refitted relic to face the enemy head-on, yes? Perhaps my knowledge of the ultimate weapon will be of use. I'm counting on it, as it happens. But first, we'll need to perform a test run in the simulator before throwing you into battle. Come, we haven't much time. Oh, joy! You fight as a G-Warrior. Yeah. Let the battle begin. I prepared 3 trials to teach you the basics. First, I want you to try attacking with the Gaius system. Don't worry, it won't fight back. The G-Warrior is armed with a range of weaponry. Now's your chance to learn how it's capable of. Alright. Look at that damage, man. Alright. So far, so good. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? The G-War also comes equipped with the Pyrotech Booster, which diverts even more power to its weapon and increases its speed and maneuverability. This, however, comes at a price. Activating it places a huge strain on the G-War, so it must be only used in short bursts. That's why it's best to practice here before heading into battle. Now, try activating the Pyrotech Booster. You notice that your movement speed is much improved, but as shown in your monitor, the G-War becomes more and more structurally unstable as time passes. To deactivate the Pyrotech Booster, press the same button. Auto restoration can mitigate a certain amount of damage incurred, but don't rely on it to carry you through the battle. Now, try using the Pyrotech Booster to destroy the target. This time the No will launch wide range reaching attacks in quick succession, but your increased movement speed will should have no trouble evading them. Excellent work, Cecilla. You best deactivate the Pyrotech Booster while I explain the final trial. But we've code offensive, and now let's look to defense. This is where the Ethereal Aegis should come in handy. Unfortunately, you can't keep the barrier up indefinitely, as it will drain the G-War's power reserves. You might even run out of energy for the weapons, so watch out. First, let's try redeploying the Ethereal Aegis. The monitor shows how much power is being drained. Don't let it get too low. That's enough for now. Turn off the barrier using the same button to use. Alright. For the last trial, you'll lose the Ethereal Aegis while attempting to destroy the target. Unlike before, there is no way to escape its attacks, so you'll want to weather them using the barrier. Alright. You're a natural! Alright, that's everything. Time to end the simulation. Nice. Are you sufficiently prepared? Yes. This might take an attempt or two. Then we'll start to depart for Turncliffe at once. Let's see if I can do this first try. I wiped a couple of times when I first did this on my main. So, because it took some getting used to. Figuring out what attack does what. Seems they're expecting us, but who's the pilot? Sansa, we're almost there. You better have your wits about you. I have control. Do the thing. Now, get ready to strike. It's time to fry this overgrown squid. That saves something for me. For research purposes, that is. Alright, let's do it. I think it's so big compared to us. I can't afford to lose. It's all or nothing. Activating Oversoul. Hydra's combat sample ready. Initiating organic core overwrite. No! I can't hold on! Oh, great. I'll be monitoring the situation from the air. Follow my instructions and eliminate the target. Alright. Well, wow, it seems the Savage has been busy. I shall enjoy breaking the new toy. Alright. My life is reborn cerulean flames! Is that Ultima? Use a Theater of Aegis. Submerged. Watch for signs of movement. Whoa. I can do that too. Bah! Oh, fuck. All right. I'm working on it, buddy. There we go. Oh, what the hell? Seriously? Uh-oh. There we go. Oh boy. No, sir. Alright, where are these turrets at? Whoa. Alright. Not today. Oh boy. Yeah, I heard you, guy. I'm working on it. now. So, and to kill me? Oh no. I ran out of EP! Fuck! Yeah. Of course it'll kill me. I ran out of fucking EP. Alright. No, I want a rematch. I fumbled around at the beginning too much. Alright, I guess we're alright. 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 Blast him! Blast him! Uh-oh. No. Cast it. Die! Get out of here! I got the upper hand now. The target has been silent. That damn squid never stood a chance. Now that the immediate threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can in Turncliffe. One second. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. Turncliffe, huh? You did well to pilot the G-Wars so adaptable in a short time. And with the weapon largely intact, Sid and his researchers should be able to gather a wealth of valuable information. Before it is dismantled, perhaps we should take one last look upon our fallen foe. Headaches. We should have known Father and his friends would track us down sooner or later. Now that they're at our doorstep, and the Sapphire still isn't ready. Even so, it should still be able to defend them off, or at least buy us some time. Not quite how I imagined it, but this seems a good way to die as any. Rex, Rykon, why are you still here? You're supposed to be moving the other weapons to a safe location. You can take care of that while I pilot the Sapphire weapon. What are you talking about? I'm the pilot, not you. There's no need to put your life on the line. Besides, it's still incomplete. It can barely perform basic maneuvers, so it'll be practically useless in a real fight. We have a solution. Oversoul. You want to end up like Melisandre? No, of course not. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But she didn't give her life in vain. The Ruby weapon left behind data that has been used to improve the system to prevent any further malfunctions. What difference does that make? Once Oversoul is activated and the pilot fuses with the core, there's no way back. That's why I should be the one to pilot the Sapphire weapon, not you, Rex. Alphonse needs you. You and I both know that I'm the least qualified pilot we have. There's less to lose if I don't make it back. No, I won't let you. Please, Rex, hear me out. Ever since we were children, I was the smallest, the weakest, too afraid to stand up for myself. But I had the best brothers and sisters a boy could ask for. You were always there for me, protected me. Now it's my turn to protect you. Take the other weapons and get out of here. See this through to the end. Do it for me. For Melisandre. I'm counting on you, Rex. You always did have a stubborn streak. Alright, Raikon, I won't let you down. But promise you'll wait for me. On the other side. We'll meet again, brother. You all made me happier when I had any right to be. And now, I finally found my purpose. I have no regrets. Come on, Sapphire. We may be far from perfect, but we have a job to do. Let's give Flair something to remember us by. Oh. The Echo, I presume. What did it reveal to you? Raikon. My poor boy, you were braver than most you were braver than most could ever hope to be. It's as we feared. I'm sorry, Gaius. First Melisandre, now Raikon. We must find the remaining weapons and end this madness. Now I really like this area. It's a shame there's a small little instance though. Alright guy, what's your deal with him? Tell me, what do you make of Gaius Balazar? I understand the two you have been acquainted since the days of the Black Wolf. He claims to have shed his pelt when he took up the hunt of Ascians, but he's still the same man deep down. He certainly kept quiet about having a flock of foster children back in the Empire though. Seems he would rather bare his teeth to his former masters than allow the harm to come to them. Yet, try as I might, I cannot make sense of it. Does he truly fight for the good of mankind, as he would have us all believe, or is he merely biding his time before he reveals his true colors? Whatever the answer may be, in the end, he'll always be a Garlean. And though there may be honorable men and women among them, I have suffered much more as a result of their conquests. Barbaric campaigns in which Gaius Balazar played no small part. My first encounter with the Guardians was 20 years ago, shortly after the fall of Alamigo. They continued their march into the lands that had been long home to we Duskwights. We sought to repel the invaders, but we were woefully unprepared. Our bows and arrows were no match for their magitech, and even our most powerful magics did little to slow their advance. I fought on the front line, but was knocked unconscious in the opening exchange. When I came to, I was alone, the rest of my unit slaughtered. I hurried back to my village to look at my wife and daughter, only to find the place deserted. My search lasted for days, then weeks, then months. It seemed they had disappeared without a trace. I finally learned from the two Imperials held at Bittermill that the villagers had been captured and used as test subjects for the poison gas that would later be known as Black Rose. They were never seen again. For 20 long years I roamed aimlessly with nothing but hatred to keep me alive. I eventually found myself at the Order of Twin Adder, who offered me a place among their ranks. The desire for revenge was the only thing I had left, so without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Were it not for the war with Garlemald, I would have been loath to work alongside the city-dwelling Gridanians who for so long had treated my kind as outcasts. But none of that mattered anymore. It all culminated with Operation Archon. As you led the charge in the Praetorium, we were right behind you. And then the place came crumbling down. Most of us were caught right in the rubble. I escaped with my life, though many others were less fortunate. Having dragged myself free from the rubble, I sought a way out. It was then I had encountered none other than Gaius Balzar, on the verge of death. The god that delivered to me the man whose conquest had robbed me of everything. I was poised, ready to exact my revenge, and then he spoke. I will not beg for mercy. I only ask that you stay your hand a while longer. I cannot die until I have rid the world of the Ascian menace. For millennia, mankind has danced their tune, but no more. Then, once we are finally free, my life is yours for the taking. I would have struck him down there and then had I not sensed the truth in his words. So I decided to grant him a stay of execution and join him on his hunt. All this time, I've kept a close eye on Gaius. Though he is never on watch for pursuers, he has granted me ample opportunity to slay him if I so choose, and I still might, if he shows even the slightest sign of betraying our agreement. But for now, the Ascians are my chosen quarry. If they are indeed the ones pulling the Empire's strings, then it shall not end until they have been eradicated, every last one. Though I cannot save my kin, there are those who may yet be spared the horrors of war. Unfortunately, dealing with the Ascians will have to wait until we have brought an end to the Garlemald's weapon project. Though we may have vanquished 2 of the new weapons, we must make every effort to prepare for whatever Guardians throw at us next. Perhaps Severa can tell us whether the Ironworks engineers have uncovered any information of note. Oh, interesting. The Ironworks engineers are still at work dismantling the Sapphire weapon and investigating the Turncliffe Magitech facility. Though they have yet to make their report, they have some news to share at this juncture. Please wait here a moment. We've yet to finish our investigation, but I can give you a preliminary report. Were you able to recover anything of note? Before abandoning the facility, they'd attempted to destroy anything they couldn't take with them, including many of their research materials. Luckily, some of the information relating to the Sapphire's weapon combat data was intact. Judging by what we saw during the battle, it was extracted from Regala Van Hydrus, correct? It also appears that the Sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state, and therefore unable to perform at full capacity. Even so, it was immensely powerful. Had they given the chance to finish it before we'd arrived, who knows how it would have ended. Indeed, we may not be so fortunate next time, so we must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks continues to investigate the Sapphire weapon and look into possible countermeasures. The Echo afforded you a glimpse into the conversation between Rykon and Rex prior to the weapon's deployment. Do you remember any other details? Improvements were made to the synthetic Orosight system to prevent malfunctions. Then it was never their intent to create a manifestation now of Andarnus. But there's one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation results in the pilot being absorbed by the core, killing them in the process. Rex and Rykon were fully aware of this, were they not? And the death of the pilot was by design all along. Alphonse, how could you? Sacrifice your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines. Sure, there is no cost worth paying of such a price. Aye, nothing is more precious than family. This nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons, and we can assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. We must find a way to disable them before Oversoul can be activated. I have seen enough death. I do not wish to see any more. Then there is no time to waste. Let's be about it, Gaius. Severa, you're in charge here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius. While you're gone, I need you to relay everything to the resistance troops. Your first-hand account should prove useful. If there are any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. Alright. We're out of here. Welcome back. Sounds like you've been on quite the journey all the way to Turncliffe. Judging by the fact that you made it here in one piece, I trust everything went according to plan. What an astonishing account. I wouldn't mind putting that G-War through the paces myself. Certainly a lot more stimulating than supervising this rabble, I'd imagine. Anyway, as before, I'll compile the information to a report, leave it over there for your perusal, should you feel so inclined. If we hear anything from the headquarters, we'll be sure to pass it on. Meanwhile, in the 7th Legion's Wurlet headquarters. Oh, who's this guy? Who? Oh, he's actually sweating. I've come to deliver my report, Lord Valens. Ah, so you returned, young Alfred. Or was it Alwick? Not that it really matters, of course. I heard that you and your darling brothers and sisters have allowed Sapphire weapon to fall in the hands of the enemy. Do tell me it isn't so. I'm afraid that is the case, Lord Valens. Oh, come now. Don't be so sullen. As they say, to err is human, to forgive divine. And you know how forgiving I can be, when it suits me. So tell me, whatever your name is, who was able to best the Sapphire weapon? Our sources state that the one known as the Warrior of Light was assisted by Sid Garland and Gaius von Belzar, my lord. Gaius. Yes, it seems he's been quite the troublemaker of late. Defecting from Garlemald, assassinating the Emperor, whatever next. Oh well, there's no use crying over spilt milk. Speaking of which, I've become quite the connoisseur since arriving in Wurlet. This particular variety comes from a rare breed of cow, you know. Only 100 of them in existence and pampered every day of their lives. Yes, they're quite valuable. Until the milk dries up, that is. When it does, they're sent to the slaughterhouse like all the rest. For that is their lot in life. To be discarded once they have served their purpose. Did I create the ruby and sapphire weapons so you can deliver them wrapped in the enemy? I can see it now. Sid Non Garland rubbing his hands with glee at all the technological marvels we bestowed upon him. And you let Gaius von Belzar of all people get the better of you? How do you think this reflects on me? The legatus of the 7th Legion humiliated by that traitor. Humiliated, I say. There's no way to deal with the worthless provincial filth like you. Wait for me in the correction chamber. You need to be taught a lesson in obedience. Yes, my lord. This guy seems like a real joy. Forgive my intrusion, Lord Valens, but it's time for your meeting with the head of the Magic Development. Oh, how time flies and your weapon use soldiers into shape. Yes, I'll be along once I've made myself presentable. Can't have people thinking I've let my standards slip now, can I? What are you doing here? You wish to see me, Lord Valens? Did I now? Ah, yes, that's right. So, you're ally, yes? And you joined the military with your own free will along with your fellow orphans? Such devotion! What an inspiration you are! You see, it is my firm belief that love grants us the power to move mountains, to overcome any obstacle. Together we shall discover the strength that lies within you. Take my hand, child. I will show you the way. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. I think I'm going to end it here. So when we come back, we will tackle the remaining, I think there's like 2 or 3 more weapons to take down. So we'll see how many I can take down. We'll see if we can finish this up in the next part. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Later.